Hey everybody, I am the Sports Judge. Welcome to the channel. Look, it's clear to everybody, clear as day, that Dabo Swinney, Clemson's head coach, has lost his way after getting stumped by Georgia. You want to talk about a vicious beating? The way Clemson got punched in the mouth? Brutal beatdown. This was a complete beatdown. Let me tell you, Clemson gets destroyed, obliterated. Use any word you want to find to describe it. They only put up 3 points. But in Dabo's eyes, listening to the man talk, they are winners because the score doesn't matter. It's how you play the game. Your team ranked number 14 and only managed to score 3 points. It couldn't have happened to a more overrated coach than Dabo. Your team lost by 31 points. Horrific. Zero ability to score in the red zone. So disappointing. Clemson can't even score in the red zone. Gotta finish drives in the red zone. This was frustrating and hard to watch. Pathetic. Look, I'm going to say this. Dabo is on the clock. If Dabo doesn't change, it's time for him to go. After all the talk of improvement, Cade looks like he's the same Cade. Play calling was embarrassing. And from what I can see, the team looked unprepared. If you can't change and adapt, you are destined for failure. Plain and simple. If we learned anything from this game, we learned that it's time for a change. Get rid of Dabo. What are you waiting for? Clemson is done. It's time to take things in a new direction. I wouldn't say he doesn't care about winning. He's just setting his ways and want to do it his way. But Dabo got to realize that old school recruiting doesn't work in the modern era. I think I can speak for everybody in Death Valley and say they have grown to accept that he'll never change. I don't think he'll change a thing as long as he's employed. At some point, you would hope Dabo is not stubborn enough to say he's not going to do things differently. He's 54. The game has changed dramatically, and he has yet to adapt. Dabo's style has completely gone out of the window, and because of that, by now, I think everybody that follows that Clemson team has had enough with Dabo. And one of the reasons why, the big reason that is, Dabo has sabotaged Clemson's football program because he wants to do it his way, the old-fashioned way. His stubbornness and his reluctance to adjust and adapt to the new era of college football has caused his program to fall behind. It's a classic good news, bad news scenario. And while I think Dabo is a nice guy and all, great motivator, good recruiter, he's average at best. And that's because you have a guy that can't win or field competitive teams. And with all the changes in college football, you're not going to win refusing to dip into the transfer portal. Dabo's refusal to embrace the NIL and the transfer portal is setting every single alarm bell off. The game has evolved. So the game has passed him by. I would think by now Dabo is on the hot seat. He has gotten too comfortable and started hiring people who have ties to the program and people that haven't had any coaching experience. He hasn't been to the playoffs in Lord knows when. He hasn't been to the playoffs in 4 years, and he may never go back. It's not like anyone thought they would win anything this year anyway. It's just embarrassing to be ranked number 14 and get beat the way they did. The best thing he can do is have an exit strategy. It's a fair point of view, especially considering what Clemson has gone through with him still there. The thing is, Dabo's life has turned completely upside down. That's in large part because he's just not the type of coach who will take the first step to adjust along the way. Not saying he's not a good coach. I think he's a wonderful coach. I think he can coach, just not in the modern era. Not being able to keep up with this new landscape of college sports. So now he can't field a title contender as he becomes a punchline. This program used to be dominant. Remember that? But just a few years into this, they can't even compete with top teams anymore. And with the inability to develop talent, it's clear Dabo has ruined the future for Clemson. The game of college football passed him by to be the coach of an elite team. And looking at this team, Clemson doesn't have the power offense to win. Clemson used to be Georgia not that long ago. Now it's a beatable school. And through stubbornness and the inability to adapt, Dabo has done this to his program. There is no reason to be stubborn and not utilize the transfer portal. Resistance is futile, and unless he pulls out of the ACC, he will no longer get the recruits to compete. The reality is that moving on from Dabo is the only way this program can move forward and bring it back to national contender, bring it back to a national contender in the next 5 to 10 years. His seat should be hot. And no way is he done. His job is safe. I think he's untouchable. He made himself indispensable. Even if Clemson can't recover this season, there's no immediate answer after him. Who is going to replace him? So I really don't know if he's in danger of losing his job. They're not going to push him out. If he can't get it done, I'll be honest, he should be gone. The school doesn't have the money to buy him out. That's the thing. I think Florida's Billy Napier seat is hotter than Dabo. The L's are coming, okay? Let me tell you, we know what this is going to look like. L's are coming. Make no mistake about that. Great summary for me. Look, Dabo is not housing the portal, and it's showing on the field. If you don't adapt with the times, you will eventually fall into obscurity, right? Eagle has taken the program down. Dabo had a chance to right the ship. The offense is pedestrian and has been for 4 years now. Dabo's time has passed. You appreciate what he has done, but they're not competitive anymore. You don't like the portal. So guess what? A lot of these other coaches he's competing against don't either. They don't like the portal, but they understand the business of it all. This should be Dabo's last dance. Too much talent being wasted for the offense to look this inept. Clemson has fallen out of the relevant team conversation. It's about time Dabo and Clemson both go separate ways if he's not going to use the portal correctly and just ain't good enough. Thanks for watching, everyone. Really appreciate the love and support. If you guys like my content, if you guys like my work and what I put out there, please do me a huge favor. Hit the subscribe button. I'm getting out of here now. Take care, guys. Have a good night. See you guys very soon. I'll be back sometime soon to talk about USC. Maybe tomorrow. Probably tomorrow. Definitely tomorrow. I'll talk about the USC LSU game. That was a great way to start a new era in USC. A great way to get started in the Big Ten. I'll get into all that tomorrow. See you guys next time. Take care, everyone. Peace.